Natural rewards release a certain amount of dopamine, and dopamine helps us remember the pleasurable experience. I did a deep dive into everything about dopamine in episode 62, but it's a motivational chemical that pushes us to seek out things that the brain believes is good for our survival. The more dopamine that's released, the better the brain thinks the thing is for us. But the problem is, alcohol releases a massive amount of dopamine. And after a while, the brain adapts to all the extra dopamine because it wants to stay in balance and not have a ton of dopamine being released all the time. It does this by making it harder for dopamine to bind to its receptors, so the dopamine that is released from drinking has less of an impact. The reward system becomes desensitized because of the constant flood of dopamine from all the alcohol that we're drinking, and you need more alcohol to have the same effect. If I can simplify this, imagine that we all have a reward scale of 1 to 100, with 1 being not rewarding at all, and 100 being the most amazing thing ever. When you drink, alcohol's not a 100, it's actually a 1000, because our reward scale is based on natural rewards, and alcohol is not a natural reward. When you hit your brain with a 1000 all the time, the brain adapts and expands its scale. Now your reward scale doesn't go from 1 to 100, it goes from 1 to 1000. Natural rewards have not changed their intensity though, so going on a walk could be like a 50. When your scale is all messed up and you're used to 1000 level rewards, a 50 feels like a complete waste of time, especially when it takes effort to get that 50 and the reward is delayed. So why put effort into natural rewards when, first of all, they don't have that much of an impact, and second, you could have a drink with no effort and get the best reward ever. We train our brain to get used to unnatural rewards, and this makes sobriety very difficult. It took time for your brain to adapt its reward system to alcohol, and it's also going to take time to adapt back. But in the process, you might feel, why bother about a lot of stuff? Or you might just feel a general lack of pleasure, or you might want to go to things like sugar or edibles or other substances to try to create that extra boost in dopamine that you're craving. In sobriety, your brain still has these adaptations to its dopamine system, and it takes time for this to heal. If you're feeling very flat, then I want you to understand that this is your reward system recalibrating and healing. Your brain is used to huge spikes and drops from alcohol, and natural rewards do not have much of an impact. When you're only exposed to natural rewards in sobriety, they don't seem all that great. But over time, your brain will heal and natural rewards will have the impact that they should. So over time, your scale will slowly drop down back from 1000 to 100. And then that walk that gets you a 50, that will have a much bigger impact when your scale is fixed and it's not based on unnatural rewards anymore.